Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I'm taking a look at another version of Doom. I love Doom and I've been checking it out on various different systems, and today I'm taking a look at it on the Sega 32X. So for anyone that doesn't know, the Sega 32X was an add-on for the MegaDrive or the Genesis, and it just brought 32-bit capabilities, and it was a commercial failure. It really didn't do very well. It was supposed to be a low-cost option to get into 32-bit gaming, but obviously it's an add-on, so you needed a MegaDrive or Genesis to play it, and it really didn't do very well. It only had 40 games in total, and Doom was one of them. So I've looked at a lot of different versions of Doom, and I have to say the 32X is not a bad version. You can see that it's still not full screen, so similar to the Super Nintendo, it's got a border around it, and in ways it is very similar to the Super Nintendo version in terms of looks. I mean, the graphics are pretty decent, they're okay, but when you see monsters in the distance, because of the pixelation, you can't always tell whether it's a monster or whether it's some sort of scenery. It's not as bad as the Super Nintendo version, although that was only a 16-bit. This is 32-bit, so you do expect it to be a little bit better. It was released in November '94. It's based on the Jaguar Doom, and I've been quite impressed with it. I don't think it's as clunky and as awful as some of the other versions. As a console game, playing first-person shooters on a standard controller with like a D-pad, it's never ideal, but it's quite fluid. I found that the Super Nintendo version was very clunky, and just moving around and looking around, it was not very smooth. Where this one is buttery smooth. Yeah, I've been fairly impressed with it. There's quite a lot of difference between this one and some of the other versions. So like I said, it's based on the Jaguar Doom, but this one has no multiplayer, no Cyber Demon, no Spider Demon, no Spectras, and no way to save games, although I think you can. Well, if you complete a level, you can go back to that start of that level, so it's not like you've got to complete the whole game, but regular Doom you can just save pretty much where you like, but you can't with this 32X version. There's 17 levels from episodes 1 and 2. There is no episode 3, which means you get no BFG 9000, although I think you can enable it in some kind of cheat mode. That's pretty much the basics of it. Monsters always face you. I'm assuming that is just to speed up rendering in some kind of way. And the only other thing that really stands out is that the soundtrack is pretty poor. The Genesis sound chip or the MegaDrive sound chip, it just really didn't cope with Doom. So you'll notice that the music is not quite up there. And the sound effects are, well, just a little bit meh. But overall, like I said with the Super Nintendo, if you had a Mega Drive and you had a 32X, then it was a cheap way of playing a game without having to go out and buy a PC just to play Doom. So, well, you've seen the footage behind me here. This is me actually playing Doom for the Sega 32X, so make of it what you will. You can see that the graphics are fairly okay. Obviously they're not up to PC standard, and there's no enhancements on this, so some of the newer versions they've probably had things done to them, but this is Doom for the 32X. A fairly decent effort, a fairly good performing port for the hardware, I suppose, but it has its limitations, and it's not the most fantastic version, but it's an interesting one at that. So I'm going to leave you with me playing, well, I think level 3 now, and just enjoy the gameplay footage. That is Doom on the Sega 32X. Yeah, link, like, enjoy the gameplay, subscribe.